Did you know that something as familiar and seemingly harmless as masturbation could silently be wearing down your health, your spirit, and even your longevity after the age of 70? At this stage of life, when the body has already gone through so many changes, many men begin to rediscover those private moments, not just for pleasure, but for connection, comfort, and the feeling of being truly alive. But here's a truth very few people say out loud. If done the wrong way, masturbation can turn into a dangerous habit, one that can seriously affect your heart, your memory, your emotions, and even your self-worth. In today's video, I will uncover 5 common masturbation mistakes that men over 70 often make and explain why they may be doing more harm than you realize. Not to shame you, but to help you understand and protect yourself with clarity and care. You're watching Life After 65, the place that brings you honest, practical health insights made especially for older men. If you care about your well-being, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on what's coming next. And where are you watching from? Leave a comment and let us know. We'd love to see how far this community can reach. Now let's begin gently, clearly, and with deep respect. Mistake 1. Ignoring the body's new limit. Many men step into their 70s still holding on to the way they used to masturbate when they were younger. Fast, firm, and sometimes just to get it over with. But here's the thing. Your body isn't what it used to be. Your heart, blood vessels, nervous system, even your skin have all changed. And if you keep treating it like you're still 30, the consequences may not show up right away. But they will. Think of it like this. You're driving a car that's been on the road for over half a century. It still runs, still faithful. But would you push it to the same limits you did when it was brand new? Of course not. Your body deserves that same kind of respect. Using too much pressure or rushing through the act can lead to lightheadedness, heart palpitations, muscle cramps, or even leave you completely drained. And if you've had high blood pressure, heart conditions, or diabetes, these effects can be even more dangerous. What many people don't realize is how hard your pelvic floor muscles are working during climax. If overused, these muscles can tighten, weaken, and cause painful symptoms, like urinary problems, groin pain, or even occasional leakage. This isn't the time to prove anything. This is the time to know yourself, to listen. Masturbation at this age isn't a race. It's a journey, one that should be slow, relaxing, and deeply connected to how your body feels now, not how it used to feel. A slower pace, a quiet environment, deeper breathing. These small changes can turn the experience into something healing, satisfying, and safe. Proper posture, resting when needed, and letting go of the pressure to finish can be acts of self-respect, not weakness. Your body is different, and that's okay. Listening to it isn't giving up. It's wisdom, and it's strength. If you're still watching, leave a number 1 in the comments to let me know you're learning to truly listen to your body. Now that we've talked about the physical aspect, it's time to turn inward. To explore how what we watch can silently reshape how our brain responds to intimacy and joy. Mistake 2, watching overstimulating pornography. These days, everything is a click away. Thousands of adult videos, fast, intense, visually overwhelming. For younger men, the brain is still flexible enough to handle it. But for men over 70, this kind of stimulation can slowly change the brain in ways you may not notice until it's too late. When the brain sees sexual images, it releases dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical that gives you pleasure. But if the stimulation is too intense or repeated too often, your brain gets used to it. It needs more to feel the same. This is called dopamine desensitization. What used to feel good, an affectionate hug, a meaningful touch, a heartfelt conversation, begins to feel flat. The brain stops responding to real-life joy. And for older men, this can be deeply damaging. As hormone levels drop with age, your emotional balance becomes more sensitive. Flooding your brain with overstimulating images can lead to memory issues, mood swings, trouble focusing. Some men even feel anxious or irritable after watching porn too often, especially when it's being used to avoid loneliness, boredom, or sadness. What may feel like a harmless habit, it can quietly wear down your emotional strength and mental clarity. The solution? Choose differently. Softer content, erotic literature, or reconnecting with your imagination. These options are easier on the brain and can still bring meaningful pleasure without draining your spirit. And there's more. Much of the content online is made for young viewers. It doesn't reflect the reality or desires of older adults. When what you see doesn't match who you are, it's easy to feel like something's wrong with you. But there's nothing wrong with you. The content just wasn't made for you, and you deserve better. Being mindful of what you watch isn't about giving up pleasure. It's about reclaiming it in a way that supports your health, your peace of mind, and your self-worth. If you've ever felt emptier after watching overstimulating videos, leave a number 2 in the comments. That one small choice might be the beginning of something much deeper. And now that we've addressed outside influences, let's go inward again. To a part of the body that's small but essential and deeply affected by how you care for it, your prostate. Let's talk about that next. Mistake 3, ignoring prostate health. At the age of 70, there's one part of the body that can no longer be overlooked. Your prostate. It's small, hidden deep inside, but plays a powerful role in both sexual and urinary health. And sadly, many older men, out of old habit or lack of guidance, continue to masturbate in ways that may actually be hurting their prostate without realizing it. As we age, the prostate tends to grow larger. This condition is called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. It's completely natural, but when it happens, it can press against your bladder. That leads to trouble urinating, frequent nighttime trips to the bathroom, or a weak stream. What you might not know is that rough or forceful masturbation, holding back ejaculation, using too much pressure, or rushing the whole process can overstimulate the prostate area. That causes irritation, chronic pelvic pain, or even makes existing symptoms worse. Some men believe holding back ejaculation builds stamina. But the truth is, it can cause tightness in the pelvic floor muscles, nerve tension, and a lingering discomfort after the act. Instead of feeling relief, you may feel heaviness in your lower belly, burning when you pee, or like something is still stuck inside. If you've ever been diagnosed with prostatitis, a urinary tract infection, or if you've simply felt discomfort in that area, please know, improper masturbation habits might be part of the issue. That doesn't mean you have to stop. In fact, when done gently with time to warm up and allowing full release without strain, masturbation can actually help keep the prostate healthy. It improves blood flow. It helps flush out old fluid. What matters is how you do it. If you feel pain, notice blood in your semen or see a change in your urination, don't ignore it. Even if it's not serious today, it could be a quiet warning of something deeper going on. Respecting your prostate starts with awareness. Your body is no longer 30, but it is still strong, still capable, and still worthy of proper care. If you've ever felt discomfort in your lower abdomen after masturbation, or have noticed changes in urination, leave a number 3 in the comments. We're here to support each other with no judgment. Now that you understand how to protect your physical body, let's turn to something just as important, your emotional world. Because sometimes the reasons behind your habits run deeper than the body itself. Mistake 4, masturbating out of loneliness or stress instead of connection. Some nights, the silence in the house is so deep you can hear the clock ticking. There's no one to talk to after dinner. No familiar hand to hold before sleep. In these quiet hours, masturbation can become a way to fill the emptiness. Not just in your body, but in your soul. At this stage of life, many men are living alone. Some have lost their lifelong partner. Others feel forgotten after years of being needed. And in that loneliness, masturbation can feel like a small escape. From sorrow, from memories, from the feeling of fading into the background. Masturbating to meet a physical need is natural. But when it becomes a reaction to sadness, to boredom, or to a quiet kind of grief, it starts to lose its healing power. It stops being about self-care and becomes a way of numbing pain. Over time, what was once a moment of comfort turns mechanical. It's not fulfilling. And afterwards, some men feel even more alone. Because the truth is, what they really needed wasn't release. It was connection. If you find yourself turning to your body out of habit or heartache, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I feel good or because I don't want to feel something else? That one question can open a door. Maybe the answer isn't physical. Maybe what your heart needs is a phone call, a walk in the fresh air, a journal, or just 5 quiet minutes of breathing with your eyes closed. Growing older doesn't mean giving up intimacy. It means redefining it. A shared glance, a warm touch, an honest conversation, those things can heal just as deeply. If you've ever felt a kind of emptiness after masturbating, or noticed you're doing it more from sadness than desire, leave a number 4 in the comments. You're not alone. And now let's talk about one of the most common but least spoken sources of quiet stress in older men: performance anxiety. The fear that your body isn't working like it should. Let's take a closer look. Mistake 5, ignoring erectile dysfunction and performance anxiety. Our bodies change over time. That's a fact no one can avoid. But for many men, every shift in sexual function feels like a failure, like something to be ashamed of. And this silent burden has led so many into a cycle of quiet pressure, especially after the age of 70. Have you ever noticed it? One day, things don't respond the way they used to. And instead of understanding, you start to ask yourself, am I still a man? Is something wrong with me? And then, without meaning to, masturbation becomes a test, not a moment of care, but a performance check to see if you can get hard, if you can last, if your body still works. But here's the problem. That pressure builds anxiety. And anxiety triggers cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol shuts down arousal. The more you worry, the harder it gets to respond. And soon what began as a small concern becomes a loop of fear and disappointment. Erectile dysfunction isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's the silence you carry, the frustration you hide, the self-doubt that sneaks in. Many men don't tell their doctor. They don't talk to their partner. They just endure, alone. But hear this. These changes are not a judgment on your masculinity. They're biology. They're normal. And you are still whole. The way forward isn't to try harder. It's to change the way you see it. Masturbation should be self-care. Not a test, not a challenge. Just a moment to be with yourself. Without expectation. Without judgment. And here's something beautiful. When that shift happens, when pressure disappears, your body often responds more naturally, more calmly, more freely. And if the issue continues, if there's pain or persistent changes in fluid, please seek help. That is not weakness. That's wisdom. That's courage. You are not defined by performance. You are defined by presence, by honesty, by comfort in your own skin. If you've ever felt the weight of performance anxiety, even in private, leave a number 5 in the comments. It's time to let that burden go. And now that we've explored these 5 quiet mistakes, let's reflect. How can we move forward with clarity, grace, and peace? Final thoughts. There comes a point in life when pleasure means more than just sensation. It means connection. It means honoring the life you've lived and the body that carried you through it. After 70, it's no longer about proving anything. It's about listening, slowing down, and treating yourself with care. Your hands don't have to chase excitement. They can offer kindness. Your moments of solitude don't have to feel empty. They can become sacred. When masturbation is done with awareness, with gentleness and with respect, it can still be a beautiful, healing part of your life. Not rushed, not judged, just honest, just yours. You've earned peace. You've earned ease. And you deserve to feel safe, whole, and proud of who you are. If something in this video spoke to you, take a moment to leave a comment. Tell us what touched your heart, what you plan to change, what you want to reclaim. We're building a space here where older men can speak freely, without shame, without hiding, just truth. And if this message matters to you, don't forget to subscribe to Life After 65. Because here, we don't just talk about health. We talk about dignity, freedom, and self-respect at every stage of life. Thank you for watching. And may you continue living in peace. On your own terms, always.